Welcome to Electrified. It's your host, Dylan Loomis. First up today, I really want to help reshape the perspective and the conversation about Tesla stock right now. So let's start here.
I think a risky bet to go against this company long term, and I just want to say one more thing, Andrew, is that the near term, the stock is still up a lot over the past year. It was $160 12 months ago. It's much higher today, and so I'm not saying that the stock has hit a bottom, but what I am saying is for a fundamental short call, it is a headwind to short against this theme.
But if you, let's say you want to own this company or not, and we had this conversation 5 years from now. 5 years, let's give it a full-on 5 years. What do you think the price of this stock is? What do you think they're...
This is so important right here. This is what you all need to be doing unless for some reason you need to sell your stock to actually use that money in the near term. As an investor, this is the time frame you all have to have. Right now, everybody's thinking about week to week and month to month, and it's like, please stop doing that and just zoom out and literally just imagine Tesla 5 years from now. Because guess what? That's really not that long. Me personally, I invest for the next 10 to 20 years. And from that standpoint, I don't need to care one iota what's going on with Tesla right now. Because like I said, we're focused on the long term. So let's hear what he has to say.
Market share is, what does the EV world look like? What does the vehicle world look like 5 years from now?
So the share goes from about 80%, 70% in the US today, 30 and 20% in Asia. I think globally, effectively, market share for EVs will be just car market share. And to answer your question, I think that it's going to gravitate.
What he means by that is essentially in 5 years, all new car sales he expects to be electric vehicles.
Around 20%. If you look at big automotive makers like Volkswagen, that's around 15%. So I think that they will have an outsized market share. If they get there 5 years, to jump forward 5 years, what this company ultimately could be worth, if you get to that 20% mark, and in 5 years we're going to be thinking about 6-7 years out, you can get to a case where this can be a much bigger company, $2 trillion plus company, based on this is the real substance of the bull case, is a business model that is more like a traditional tech model. We've talked a lot about this, but that's the substance of the valuation case, is that if they are successful at hardware, software services similar to Apple, and look at what Apple trades at, about a 6 revenue multiple, you can build a case that Tesla can get there too. And so I think ultimately there's a question around competition, but I think that there is a strong case for long-term investors will be rewarded. Near-term, again, all bets are off.
Who will be rewarded? Long-term investors. And no, long-term is not 6 months. Long-term is years and years and years.
So Sylvia, in the near term, about 1 year out, how much of the short case against Tesla rests on the macro environment? Burry also betting on a surge in inflation this year.
Yeah, so I think, inflation and fears about the 10-year are just, again, hitting high growth stocks. There's been a pullback in some of the EV names off of the idea that there's a shortage in semiconductors. So for Tesla specifically, Model S, Model X, battery cells, some of that is going to be a little bit delayed, and that will impact short-term profits in the stock.
And that's another thing that everybody has to remember. There are macro factors at play that have nothing to do with Tesla's core fundamentals. So things like inflation and the rotation out of growth stocks are all things that we need to consider. So when people see the price of Tesla stock move, a lot of people nowadays immediately think something is wrong with Tesla or what's going on with Tesla. Sometimes, and I would argue oftentimes, nothing is going on with Tesla. It's stuff that has nothing to do with Tesla. It's just the macro environment that Tesla is playing in.
But I think that this is a pretty good level and a pretty good low for Tesla to consider getting back in, because again, there's just so much going on that benefits this stock. You mentioned President Biden visiting the Ford plant today. Well, $174 billion is going to go to either consumer credits or the companies themselves that essentially develop these EV vehicles. That's a massive investment. There's this push towards global carbon neutral, and that's going on in Europe and in China. China and Europe are 60% of EV sales, and we have to catch up. So I think that even if there's more competition, there's short-term delays, the long-term story favors Tesla. Within the year, maybe in the next couple of months or so, there's volatility in the stock, but I'm holding it for the long term.
Well,
what time frame favors Tesla? The long term. And guys, look at this right here. This is only 5 years. This for me is like the minimum time frame to invest in stock. Way too many people are investing, basically swing trading, looking at 3 months, 6 months, getting in and out. That is a fool's errand. If you like trading and you want to do that, be my guest. But guys, Tesla is a long-term story. It's a long-term play. So even just 1 year ago, if you go back to May, just like Gene said, May 29th, 2020, Tesla was $167 per share. 1 year later, and we are at 561. Who in the right mind would be complaining about a 4x gain in 1 year? Nobody. And if you are, you have no business investing in the first place. So please just zoom out and start thinking in terms of 5-year timeframes, because look, from really 2016 to 2020, the stock did nothing. That is 4 years. Right now, people are freaking out if the stock doesn't move 10% in 4 weeks. And forgive me if I'm a little amped up, but for me, coming from a financial advisor background, this stuff is just normal. And like I said, I have a built-in long-term mindset. So the stock price really doesn't even register to me on even a month-to-month basis. But online and on Twitter, I see so many people panicking and freaking out, and CNBC headlines talking about Tesla stock gets slammed and Elon and Bitcoin. And guys, the noise is absurd, and you have to learn how to tune it out and to keep your perspective, or your life is going to be miserable. And really, I just wanted to give you guys some encouragement to zoom out and fix the perspective. Stop focusing on the news and the short-term day-to-day nonsense. Get back to the fundamentals and the high-level overview and think in terms of 5-year minimums. Everything will be fine. You'll be okay. Also today, there was this tweet from Peyton. Tesla is officially reaching out to Cybertruck reservation holders, confirming a late 2021 production start. The message from Tesla said, "Hello, congratulations on taking the first step to becoming a Tesla owner. The Cybertruck will start production in late 2021 and will be an exciting time for everyone. We have exciting news. We have opened a new location in Fort Myers. Since the Cybertruck has yet to be released, we would like to extend an invitation to test drive a model that is currently available. We have the Model 3 and Y available for test driving." And they give the Tesla Fort Myers address. So naturally, it's fun to focus on this right here. The Cybertruck will start production in late 2021, but in my opinion, the main thrust of this email is to try to get prospects to this new location to actually test drive a Model 3 or a Model Y. So really, I see this more as a prospecting email than any official confirmation that production is going to start at Giga Texas for the Cybertruck in late 2021. Is that still a possibility? Absolutely. But please do not take this simple anecdote and then extrapolate that to mean basically it's a guarantee that Cybertruck is coming this year. It might, but we can't infer that just from this. And of course, I have to at least show you this tweet from Elon this morning about Tesla having diamond hands with regard to Bitcoin. And honestly, who knows what Elon is doing, but just from a practical standpoint, they bought around 30 to 35,000, so them selling in that same range isn't going to do anybody any favors. So of course, they're going to want to hold at least until the price goes back up. Will they sell? Contrary to what Elon said previously, only time will tell. But I'll tell you this, if they do end up selling Bitcoin in the next month or two after this tweet, Elon's credibility in the crypto space will be at zero if it's not close already. But to send you guys off on the day on a much lighter note, I found this on Twitter and I thought it was pretty funny.
I've never done this before, this first time.
Really?
Yeah, I've never signed a life-size version of me.
Thank you very much. You are the greatest. Ralf, mach mal ein Foto, bitte. Mach mal ein Foto.
This guy basically makes these cardboard cutouts of Elon, and he actually had Elon sign it, which was cool, but I just thought that look he gave him was funny, and Elon was a good sport about the whole thing. This tweet is linked below if you want to see the whole thing, but please like this video if you did. Like I said, just take a breather, zoom out, it's all going to be good, and a big thank you to everybody on the next screen. I hope that you have a great day.